Hello dear viewers, we are delighted to welcome you to our YouTube channel from Planeo today with another topic from our new construction series. The interior area is now almost finished. We have completely accompanied this house and we want to concentrate on a very important topic, that is the extremely significant terrace. Here we want to install an IPE terrace. We see the conditions here. The angle stones are already set, the paving work is completed, and in this area a beautiful wooden terrace will be placed. Now the gravel bed is being put in right here at this spot where we will later set the lawn edging stones as point foundations for the substructure. Like the weed barrier fabric must certainly not be forgotten, and how the whole thing works we will show you exactly as we proceed in the next step. Well, so indeed, the most important part is as good as done. The gravel has been nicely leveled. You can, through height of gravel, you can, so to speak, vary the height you need. Like we measured that earlier. Decking board thickness, then the substructure, the lawn edging stones, which serve us here as so-called strip foundations. They are not real strip foundations, but these strips serve as a solid, stable and reliable base as a foundation. What we did here, the weed barrier, is very important, because you wouldn't believe what seeds get deposited over the years and can then sprout and grow in a conducive environment. Regarding the substructure itself, so the aluminum substructure we are using here, which is definitely a square tube with such insert pieces like these examples. I don't know if you can perhaps see it here. The insert pieces fit exactly in. It's not really a press fit, but it fits very precisely. They are countered here with a screw, you can see it here, and can then be endlessly inserted into each other. It's practical. You drill a little beforehand because you have to go through two walls. And here we have it indeed just already prepared. The aluminum substructure can be cut with an angle grinder and directly on site, right there on the spot. You have to be a bit careful to not leave the aluminum shavings lying around, keep it tidy. What is very important with the aluminum substructure are the distances. There is, so to speak, a grid dimension or two grid dimensions. The aluminum substructure itself must have a support every 50 centimeters, meaning if it does not rest completely and securely, fully and stably on the surface, sometimes it happens that you have a concrete foundation, then it rests completely on the surface. Distances aren't important, but here we will work with rubber granulate pads to decouple it. Approximately every 50 centimeters under the substructure. And then there is the second grid dimension. When the plank is placed, the plank itself must not sag more than 35 centimeters freely, and the freely sagging piece slightly more. We have essentially adopted from the WPC size. There the distances are a bit narrower, but we are using the same distances here too, because we will be working with a concealed fastening system and really want to play it safe here. So there are in fact two grid dimensions. One is 50 centimeters under the substructure, so between here. The lawn can be stone and the substructure. And then the other dimension is the substructure parallel to each other. There certainly the measurement is, so to speak, the inner edge to the inner edge, approximately a maximum of 35 centimeters. A very important thing, undoubtedly, especially with such lift and slide doors. As we have it here, certainly ground level, barrier free. What is very important here is this. Undoubtedly, I would call it a rain grid. A kind of terrace driving rain grid that is designed to where the rain stands in front, weather side. Then, in a manner of speaking and considering the various aspects, through the number of gaps here, over approximately 50% of the water is drained extremely quickly, or downwards at an incredibly fast pace. You can also very simply and effectively use this grid as a ventilation grid, which is very often done. And what you really also have to indeed actually consider is that later on we will have a roof, so we won't lay it here on the facade. If the terrace is freestanding, that is without a roof on the house, it should also be used on the plastered wall or on the clinker wall, such as wherever such a grid is utilized in any situation, to quickly drain the rain and prevent the facade from getting dirty or being permanently, severely and irreversibly damaged. This grid, as you can see, works with such subrails. Subrails are applied, the substructure screwed on, and all made of aluminum. And the pleasant thing here is that we in fact have here about plus or minus 1 millimeter in the thickness of the planks, so that we are completely on one level here. Very well thought out to lay several pieces together quite comfortably. You can hardly see the joint, and it is very important to start with that significantly. And then also, in order to get the height, we are limited here. Our height, this is not a freestanding terrace, but we are somewhat limited in height by these curb edges or so. We have accepted that. It is important to start with, perhaps to balance something out again, then to level across to the first fixed point, which essentially gives us a guideline. The substructure is fixed, anchored with the ground. We already mentioned that earlier. It's certainly a bit labor intensive, but here you should really take the time, allow the time to anchor everything firmly. We can see it here. Nothing moves here anymore, at all indeed. The substructure is indeed very securely anchored here. In the outer area we have created a kind of frame. Of course we have lighting here, we have the entire property. Here in the new building we have our Planeo system, lighting system, a do-it-yourself system illuminated. We find this here repeatedly, and here we have now laid the main cable or a branch from the main cable. Very important, with the second plank we are carefully installing, recessed extremely, spotlights. It's important if you use a different substructure, such as check if it has the height from the body of the light fixtures. Very briefly, 3 words about the type of wood. IPE, commonly known as, is a hardwood tree from South America and Central America more specifically. If you want more information, we will link you under the video for additional details. With a few brief bullet points about IPE. What's really interesting about IPE is the color play. These are all planks. So don't be surprised that it's a very, very beautiful, lively wood. It has a broad and varied color spectrum in it. It is actually very heavy in terms of raw density. For example, it is heavier than oak. You can really feel it when you lift the heavy wood. Yet it can be worked with very, very nicely. It has great properties and is extremely useful, especially for outdoor use. It literally doesn't shrink as much. It's also important that you read the sorting description. You can call us at any time. We will provide detailed advice on the IPE Terrace. I briefly touched on its properties just a little while ago. It is suitable. It is, of course, a luxury product, somewhat higher in price. But it is undoubtedly worth it due to the grid and a remarkably pleasant cut, which we will do later. Regarding the L-stones, we have a certain amount of rear ventilation there. This can also be customized in a variety of ways. Our fastening system is an invisible fastening system, which means we will not see any screws from above. We actually see very small pieces of the substructure. We have the Planeo dealer, a trusted and reliable partner. Clip, and it has a function that is crucial and serves a purpose. Functions, advantages, it provides constructive wood protection, so to speak. If you were on a wooden substructure, it would be even more important. It essentially allows the plank to move slightly a little, because one side is fixed with the substructure and the other side is slid underneath. Everything is still secure. It's actually a bit difficult to explain. Watch it right in the video and try it out for yourself and see the results. It's really a case where the work shows the way. In the end, small details that truly matter. At the beginning, you have to slightly turn the plank, which is usually used in a typical fashion this way, once all the way around. To really be able to do this, you definitely have to knock down this stop bar. The first plank. The fastening clip must then be placed at an angle. If this were the substructure, you could do it like this completely. Attach it to the edge. Here the first screw is set, meaning the first plank is really fixed from both sides, and then it continues according to the system that you draw a line here on the plank. You'll see in a moment how we actually do it. And with the second plank, or the following plank, it is slightly offset. We also do this, it is offset a bit, screwed tight, and then it is pushed underneath like this later. And then it holds firmly here, it sits firmly here. If it presses against it, it doesn't matter because it is fixed here. And this movement that it allows is indeed ensured. The wood can at least work in one direction, the constructive wood protection. The whole thing adds a bit of thickness, meaning you actually have a completely properly ventilated construction. There is no wood on wood or wood on substructure anywhere. It can always ventilate again. These are the big advantages. Of course, you have to do a bit of screwing. You have to work precisely, otherwise it becomes difficult. But take a look at it, it's definitely worth it. Another big step has been made in this new construction. The terrace is finished. The result, absolutely stunning. You know our other videos from this new construction, which we have completely followed, how we designed the garden, how we set the L-stones, the playhouse, the lawn, etc., such as our focus was on the terrace. We completed the finishing touches. What was very important here was that we had our restrictions. Due to the curbstones here, the edging stones, we had to measure in time, measure very precisely how we would end up later, so we wouldn't end up with a small piece to fit in here or have such a huge gap. It really has to be measured precisely. You can measure it approximately beforehand, but because the solid wood planks vary in thickness and they are slightly different in width, you can't say exactly. You relieve tension. You are not always able to make the gap uniform. You have a millimeter here and a millimeter missing there, so it's a bit of learning by doing with this little task. Finishing work is done, the edge was cut. This makes a very, very accurate finish with the circular saw and the guide rail. A wonderful clean edge. Here we chose an edge of about 16 millimeters slightly all around so that we have additional ventilation. The wood is still working. We installed it at the beginning of autumn, which means in winter the terrace will still shift a bit, although IPE works very little. But solid wood in general, terrace wood, tropical wood, can work wonderfully with this system. This will make the gaps a bit smaller. In summer, the gaps will be approximately like they are here again. What else did I forget? We just installed Brello. Very good finish. We also demonstrated that. A very, very nice entrance. Level with the living room. The color of the parquet floor matches wonderfully with the wooden terrace. There is a seamless transition. You can play with the colors and design the whole thing. We installed the lighting. What is important to mention, like the best and most important features also for installing the whole thing, installing the wood, we will link for you under the video. The 10 most important points for installing an IPE terrace. Check it out, click on it, and otherwise if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to us, follow our videos. Thank you very much. See you then.